I was lucky enough to get my hands on the Donkey Kong DLC for Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle recently at an event in San Francisco thanks to Ubisoft, and I came away very pleasantly surprised by what the package is going to be bringing. Today I want to show you a full battle of one of the new battles that they have going on here. This one is more about destroying these piles of bananas that are around the environment. If you played the original game, you know that most of the battles were just like, hey, defeat certain amount of enemies or reach this area before you get defeated by any other enemies. And this does something completely different. This is a completely new battle that is introduced in this Donkey Kong DLC, and in this video you're going to get a chance to see some of their new abilities in action. Now, I hadn't played Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, in quite some time, so please excuse any rustiness as far as this goes. We still do a pretty good job with the battle, but as you saw there, as Rabbid Cranky, I was going to say Cranky Kong, it's Rabbid Cranky, you saw the ability to shoot enemies while doing the team jump or the super jump. And that's one of my favorite abilities for this new character. He is one of my favorite characters as well. I do want to point out that the party is what the party is. You're going to be playing as Donkey Kong, Cranky, and Rabbid Peach, and that's it. There is no switching to any other characters. You cannot mix it up and be like Mario with Donkey Kong or anything like that. That is for story purposes. This is story-based DLC. It's not just challenges and things of that nature, the way that previous DLC in the game has been. So I think that that's actually a good thing. I love the relationships that they have as far as like funny little quirks that they have going on, and the story reason why these are the characters that are in the game is actually really cool. And I won't spoil any story stuff here at all, but I thought that was really interesting. We do have a video where Zach asked me 10 questions about the DLC, and I pretty much answer them. And over there we go way more in depth. Here I just kind of wanted to show you guys what a full battle was gonna be like and showcase the abilities of these characters. Honestly, Donkey Kong is probably now my favorite character in Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle at all. That includes the original game. I love the fact that he's able to take enemies and like push them. Like as you saw there, I picked the enemy up and I just took him with me, and I just like kind of volleyballed him to the other side of the arena here, and I thought that was really cool. On top of that, he does have other abilities. Those DK blue panels that you see there allow you to traverse through the level way more quickly, and that's like a nice interesting change of pace, from what the game did originally. Like they found a way to make him really fun and also super useful. His area of effect damage is also really cool with some of his attacks as well, and his animations, as you see there, he's just like looking around. The animations that he does, I just can't get enough of them. As you guys see here, you're now collecting bananas instead of coins, and that's also a nice little touch. And there's a lot of like really cool little touches. You're gonna probably see me use one of these blue pads here for the first time, but the attention to detail that they paid, they said that they even brought in like almost a different team, right? Because they needed people that were familiar enough with Donkey Kong and that knew the world better than anyone else. So they brought on new people to work on this DLC. Another thing I wanted to point out is that this DLC is actually like super sizable. It's much larger than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be like a few hours, but they are saying that in playtests, people are taking 8 to 10 hours to complete this. So that's like actually pretty decently sized for the fact that this comes with the season pass at $20, and if it is available separately, it's going to cost less than $20. So I thought that that was actually really cool as well. I really like the whole reason why Rabbid Peach is the character here. Again, I won't go into any story spoilers whatsoever, but I was like really tickled by that for some reason, and I do appreciate this new mode here. There we do miss this enemy, and he's gonna probably have an open shot at us in a minute, but that's okay. Having to take down these like piles of like power up bananas was actually like kind of decently entertaining. The boomerang here, you see that Donkey Kong just like finished off that enemy, did a critical hit, threw him off, and also went and hit another enemy. That's one of my favorite moves that Donkey Kong has in this new DLC. Beyond that though, like my impressions were all like really positive. I was happy to be able to play the game again. I do think that this is an underrated gem on Nintendo Switch. I don't think it gets enough attention just because Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, and other older Switch games are just of like such high quality that something like this probably just gets like forgotten about, unfortunately. But it's a really solid package now, especially for that like gold edition that's coming, because if that includes all the DLC including this for $60, that's a killer price. You're gonna get a lot of hours of really good fun with this game, and I for sure am like super looking forward to this. I wish we had a release date. We don't. All they say is like, hey, the game is coming in June, the Donkey Kong DLC. We don't have any specific dates. My worry is that it's coming out during E3 and I won't get a chance to play it right away because I'll be at E3 working on Switch 4 stuff. But beyond that, I am beyond hyped for this video. Here, just go ahead and gather up these bananas, and then this is when I realized that like, hey, these bananas, like the power of bananas, the ones that we're supposed to like destroy, they have a health bar. So it's not just like go get to them and like hit them once. If you don't do enough damage to them, you gotta hit them a couple more times. As you see here, this one has 66 damage left out of whatever original health it had. I believe it was 100. So there we go ahead and do 30, and then one more attack here does finish that one off. Then it does just become a matter of traversing to the other areas of the map and finishing those off. And what better character to do that with than Donkey Kong, because he just can maneuver like so magically at this point with those blue panels that you see there. It just becomes so easy. So I just go ahead and jump over there. Again, the animations there swinging on that little vine there, it's absolutely awesome. And this is one of my favorite attacks here as well, where you just like start like wailing on the ground, like just ground pound, and just do a whole bunch of damage. So this has 47 health left, that banana pile. Unfortunately, more enemies do spawn just because we weren't able to take care of everything in the right time, but I still think we do pretty well in this battle, given the fact that I had never really played like a match or a battle like this before. This was something completely new, and since I hadn't really played the game in such a long time, I was still kind of getting reacquainted with the mechanics. Remember, we didn't have a ton of time with the game. I played around an hour and a half, and right when I was like getting accustomed to everything again, and I felt like I was finally like getting really into what the DLC was going to be, we had to stop. We got an hour and a half of gameplay time, and I honestly just wish it was more. I was so let down that I didn't get to play more. So there we use Cranky's crossbow there to deal some damage from a little bit further away. Cranky is like such a great character as well. The ability to shoot out of the air when you're doing team jumps is actually like really useful. Here you can see that we're going to try to use this Ridgy Ridge returner to inflict as much damage as we can. We get lucky, we get a critical hit, and we finish it off. And then once again, it just does become about, hey, let's traverse and get to that last banana section, which with these blue things, it becomes incredibly easy. Here I messed up. I could have probably done something. You can pull out the ears that before the enemies spawn there with Donkey Kong. That's one of his like cool abilities. So if I was smarter, I probably should have done that there in hindsight, but I'm not really all that worried. I think we're gonna be quite okay in this battle. But overall though, my impression's still really positive, and this just makes me all super excited for June. Beyond that though, the rest of the battle here, it goes out pretty smoothly. I don't think we have any real hiccups along the way. For the most part, we do end up getting a perfect, and that enemy's far away enough that I'm able to just attack it here with my Megalodon weapon. There's a lot of like new weapons in the game as well. Luckily he gets honey and he can't really move. Those enemies like charge at you when you shoot them, and it's probably a good idea to keep a safe distance away. At this point we have enemies spawning and they're gonna go ahead and attack, but again, I'm really not that worried, even though there are two of them pretty like close to me. Vampire damage does get done on Donkey Kong there, and we do get hit a couple of times here, but he has so much health and he hadn't really been touched beforehand that I wasn't all that worried. After this, it's our turn once again. I'm pretty sure that as Donkey Kong we just go and do damage. I'm not sure if this is the turn that it ends or not, but I hope that as I continue the DLC, right, there's more battles that are like different, right? Because yes, there's battles where you know take out 8 enemies. There's battles where you're like, hey, get to this point as quickly as possible. But the fact that they changed it up with this, that's something I really appreciate. Here again, doing this like ground pound, ground slap attack that I thought was like so cool. And we got a couple critical hits on there as well, with 28 health left. That pile of bananas is not long for this world. But yeah, honestly, if you guys want a little bit more of an in-depth like discussion about what was in the game, you should definitely check out the video that Zach and I did where he's asking me questions. I absolutely think that this is worth a revisit. If you haven't like traded the game in, or if I'll say this, if you haven't beat the game yet, go and beat it before this releases, because there is like a story reason why these characters are around and why Rabbid Peach is available with them and no one else is. So I think that that's like such a cool little thing they did, and I was like really like almost like nostalgic for this. Even though I just played the game last year, I was like, man, I really miss this game, and I'm super happy that I'm getting another opportunity to play it. So here we're just trying to basically finish off the battle. We're in the last minute or so here. We're gonna go ahead and pass, let the enemies do their worst, and then attack that banana pile with good old Donkey Kong and finish it off. We're gonna have a successful battle here. I think again we do pretty well, and I'm happy with the way it turned out. June can't come soon enough. One last thing I kind of want to plug here before we get out of here is an interview I did with one of the people that worked on the game. You guys can go check that out as well. It's on the channel, and probably now, if it's not up now, it'll be up in a couple of hours. But the conversation I had with Zach about it, this video, and we have some other stuff coming as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you excited for Donkey Kong and Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle? Are you going to be checking it out? As you guys see here, we get a perfect. We finish in 6 out of 8 turns, and we do the best we can here. So sound off in the comments below. Join our Discord, join our Twitter, or follow us on Twitter, excuse me. You guys are fantastic, and we'll catch you on the next one. Switch Force out.